Welcome to Atwood's Canada Day 2020 Craft Float Parade. First up is the float representing our hosts, the Atwood Lions Club. Thanks to the Janine Martin family for their creative efforts this year. Next is the float from the municipality of North Perth. Good job, folks. Next is a float representing the County of Perth Economic Development and Tourism Office. Thanks to Ashley Brocklebank. I certainly had fun putting together my mayor's float entry for the parade. That cutout image of me took a lot of time. Next up is a float from our Member of Parliament, John Nader. John's lovely family is shown. Nice tractor, John. A taste of Canada. Last summer, the Vole family, Suzanne, Jason, and Ava, enjoyed beaver tail pastries at both the Art in the Park event and in Ottawa, memorable enough that it made the parade. Here's one of 3 float entries from Atwood's Linda Duncan. This one depicts Christmas in July. Ho, ho, ho! This float is contributed by my neighbors, Terry and Linda Atkinson of Atwood, who own Henfrid Lumber. Check out the detail. Gorgeous work, Linda. And Terry. I invited a few of my friends who live elsewhere to send in float entries. This one is, believe it or not, from my grade 1 teacher, Nancy Johnsroot. It captures images of Windsor, Ontario. Thanks, Miss Johns. Next up is a float representing the Country Computer Store in Atwood. Thanks to Bill and Susan for their very patriotic entry. Some great people work at the Listowel branch of TD Canada Trust. Their team put together 5 floats in one great video. Thanks, Loretta, for the nudging and the rest of the team. This float was designed and driven by Cole Broughton, age 11, of Moncton, with video edits by Mom, Kelly. Aidan Broughton, age 10, of Atwood, made this float with his grade 5 class at Elma Township Public School. Thanks, Aidan. Our youngest entrant, Lincoln Jancy, age 3, submitted with his grandparents this entry, a lovely blue tractor. I think I need one like that. I convinced my friend Steve Eckhart of Milverton, owner of Wooden Head Mechanical, to submit. Check out the small furnace and air conditioning unit. Thanks, Steve. Next up is a float entry by Talon George, age 10, of Atwood. He calls it the Barrie Canadian Float. Great job, Talon. Thanks to Gavin Falk, age 12, of Listowel, for his wonderful entry of Love's Clydesdales with Hugh and Rhonda Love. I loved the details in this one. It's got a float, so figured Nicholas Jackson, age 10, Owen Jackson, age 12, and Quinton Speaker, age 9. Those are pretty fancy. Thanks for putting them on water. Next up is the float from the Listowel BIA. Here's Lisa Schaefer.
Happy Canada Day from the Listowel BIA. On behalf of the businesses in our community, we want to welcome you back to Listowel to shop, dine, and discover with us. And we want to thank you for everything you have done to support our local business community during this time. Have a wonderful, wonderful Canada Day, and we can't wait to see you shop, dine, and discovering all that Listowel has to offer.
Mayor Todd has to admit some bias. The next float is from his wife, Sharon Flood Kasenberg. It is intended as a homage to the Listowel Agricultural Fair with its many competitions. Look for the fair again in 2021. The second entry of Linda Duncan of Atwood, this one is Flamingo Peace. I love the whimsical design, coupled with the powerful message. Thanks, Linda. Our next float represents the first Moncton Girl Guides, Sparks, Brownies, Guides, and Rangers. Note the camping scene with all that you'd expect, and flags including the World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts flag. Thanks to Denise Straighton of Moncton. Next, enjoy the taste of quintessential Canadiana with a homage to hockey and Canada. Thanks to Councillor Alan Rothwell and his wife, School Board Trustee Nancy Rothwell, for this beautiful contribution. Those red trucks are everywhere, and one even made it into the parade. Thanks, Gable Electric Plumbing HVAC, for joining the parade. I see you, Tim, and thanks to the crafters, Tiffany, Avery, and Peyton Smith of Listowel. Miles Shepard, age 12, of Granton, is clearly an expert with Lego. He's built a fabulous float with Lego blocks. Thanks so much for this intricate and well thought out entry, Miles. Addison Gibson, age 9, of Listowel, clearly recognizes that what a birthday needs is a birthday cake. Thanks for your beautiful contribution, Addison. Shirley Buchanan of Atwood, with a little support from hubby Ken, has put together a remarkable float that shows the significant contributions of the Atwood Lions Club to the village. Thanks, Shirley. Next up, a float representing the Listowel Agricultural Society. It pays tribute to local farmers and agriculture in our community and celebrates them on Canada Day. Thanks to Leanne Andreessen for the float. Next up, a vibrant float celebrating Canada and its wonder. Thanks to Brooke Schaefer, age 10, of Listowel. One of our community's visual artists, Becky Wilson of Atwood, has made this wonderful float. I guess a virtual moose is better than one on the streets of Atwood. Thanks, Becky. We are a farming community. Most years, the parade celebrates that through a procession of tractors in the parade. Linda Duncan celebrates this year with a toy tractor on Canada Day. Aubrey Buerman, age 8, of Moncton, has created a float that has a rider, Lizzie, who is driving a team of horses named Bella and Samuel. Thanks, Aubrey. Beautiful work. Meet a lion for the Atwood Lions, a cat, a lizard, and a flying spotted pig. These were made by Allie, Logan, and Blake Wires of Atwood, ages 3 to 7, with some assistance from Mom and Grandpa. Alexandra Brooks, age 11, of Listowel, attends St. Mary's School. She's made a vehicle for any occasion. Zoe Moon, of Listowel, age 7, highlights the Rocky Mountains in this creative float. She and her 2 brothers' faces are looking across the great country. And, yes, she has been to the Rocky Mountains. Thanks to Melanie Haslam of Listowel, who has crafted this clever entry on behalf of Watson's Home Hardware, building center, and home furniture. Next up is a float in red and white celebrating our great country. Thanks KDL, age 9 of Milverton. Emma, Lily, Oliver, and Hunter made a float together and put themselves in the boat on top. To Anne Laidlaw of Atwood, thanks for the family effort. A lifelong friend of Mayor Todd, Caroline Spencer, joined the action and created a tribute to Windsor, Ontario using 1965 vintage Little Kiddles dolls. They are dancing. Stalwart Listowelites Gary and Patricia Moon have put together a stunning float representing the appeal of the red maple leaf, enjoyed by families across the country. Emma Gangle, age 14 of Listowel, has made a remarkable float conveying Willow, who is modeling her favorite ladybug costume. That's one cooperative cat. A parade needs tractors, even red ones. Thanks to Stoltz Sales and Service Listowel for this great contribution. Lexi Pitt Plato, age 4 of Atwood, is my neighbor. She's put together her float for Canada Day. Thanks, Lexi, and thanks, Lindsay. The next 5 floats come from the Sluice family. Angel, age 12, Ava, age 10, Tiffany, age 10, Tyla, age 7, Taylor, age 12, and Tyler, age 9. You'll see everything from abstract art to farmyard scenes. As these floats go past, make a list of everything you can identify. We've got a box full of bears, but no public threat. Thanks to Emily Swenson, age 9 of Palmerston, for this wonderful bouquet. She says, Happy Canada Day. The North Perth Community of Character is proud to bring Canada's band to Atwood for Canada Day. Atwood rocks with the Tragically Hip. Thanks to Patty Hennifer, North Perth Community of Character. Community Living North Perth is an outstanding organization in our community. They have submitted a whole bunch of floats. Thanks, Sheila. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Amanda. Thanks, Nancy. Thanks, Kimberly. Thanks, Ruth. Thanks, Kendall. Thanks, Kim. Thanks, Daryl. Thanks, Cindy. Thanks, Terry. Thanks, Bradley. Thanks, Sheila. Thanks, Anna. Good job, all. Helping build communities. That's the slogan of Atwood's Rona Lumber. Thanks for the clever entry, folks. Loved it. Ready for some serious dinosaurs? Apparently Carter Romp is. Carter is 5 years old and lives in Listowel. Thanks, Carter. Claire Ropp, age 8 of Listowel, has put together a collection of leisurely dolls, Barbie and friends if I'm not mistaken, who are out parading for Canada Day. Thanks, Claire! Don't miss out on a great burger. Mayor Todd is a huge burger fan. He's grateful for the Moncton Diner's clever float celebrating Canada Day and their great burgers. This float must be a prize winner. Submitted by Justin Shepard, age 13 of Granton, it covers the gamut of the Canadian hockey experience. I loved the handcrafted whimsy, the attention to details, even the crowd. Justin, spectacular job. Thanks for the entry. You nailed it. Next up is an entry from my friend Wilma Rathwell, a longtime resident of Atwood and now of Listowel. This truck is a replica made by Atwood Lions member Neil Cockwell many years ago as a Christmas gift to the family. It proudly represents Rathwell Gravel, now owned by Stephen and his family. This float has been contributed by Caroline Hill of Listowel, a representative of Riverview Park Retirement Residents. For mature adults seeking a new home, the Riverview Park Information Center is now open. Deputy Mayor Doug Kellum will love this entry. Summer Gibson, age 7 of Listowel, is apparently a fan of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Good job. Thanks to Tiffany Smith for sending in this clever entry on behalf of Steve Smith Auto Sales Limited in Moncton. Crafts or real cars? Apparently Steve Smith Auto Sales can handle it all. Thanks to Kathy Dale of Libra Credit Union Listowel for this fine submission. Good people, great float. The flag is prominent and grooving on the pom-poms. Thanks to Tessa Polexny, age 8 of Listowel, for this beauty. A bouquet of rubber gloves and some Canadian spirit. Loved it, and it made me chuckle. Thanks, Mandy Van Loo, for Van Loo Massage Therapy. Matthew Clark, age 9 of Atwood, was challenged to make a float for a learn-at-home assignment. Matthew used a shoebox lid and paper to make a bale rack wagon, with Matt and one of his brothers riding in it. Happy Canada Day from Simply Celebrate You by Leanne Andreessen. Simply Celebrate You offers personal shopping for fashion of all seasons. No ordering, no online purchases. Try it on and take it home. Thanks, Leanne. And last, a few indulgences. Listowel District Secondary School has served as temporary home for a number of students from Brazil over the years. Many of them keep in touch. Victor Moreira, who stayed with my family, has contributed this float, which captures Canadian winters accurately enough. He says he misses snow. We miss him. Anna Andrade, who attended LDSS several years back, clearly has Canada deeply embedded in her heart. Her elegant float brings together wonderful symbols of both Brazil and Canada, reflecting the beauty of cultural interchange. Thanks, Anna. As you've seen and heard, I grew up in Windsor, which celebrated the International Freedom Festival this time of the year. Friends of mine, the Lovells, sent me this Windsor Heritage entry. Note the fireworks, the river, the cars from Car City, and a little Canadian Club whiskey. Thanks. Hi everyone, it's Mayor Todd speaking. It's been my pleasure to endorse the idea of a craft float parade for the Canada Day 2020 virtual celebration festivities coming to you from Atwood. And it's been my pleasure to edit the many entries we've received and create this video track. I'm amazed that we received more than 80 craft floats, and I'm pretty sure that puts us on the map as setting off the largest craft float parade in Canadian history. Certainly the only one that I'm aware of in Atwood history and Perth County history, Kudos to all of you for your contributions. Very much appreciated, and I wish you a wonderful rest of this Canada Day. Take care.